Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel. So I want to talk about my very first full calendar year. I'm talking about January 1st to December 31st. This is going to be this previous year of 2024 from a brand new Etsy seller. I did sell for a few months in 2023, and I will mention that, talk about that. I really want to show you the stats, and at the very end, I want to give you just a few small tips. It ain't going to be too technical from a tip standpoint, but I want to give you a few little things that may help you if you're brand new to sell on Etsy. Again, I've never sold on Etsy. I've never had an e-commerce store before, but let's jump into it. So here's my stats. Here is my stats from 2024, the full year. 83,000, over 83,000 with a 1.5% conversion rate, which actually is pretty solid for my genre. Now, if you're looking at this comparing your store to mine, I would check maybe the top stores and see kind of where the conversion rate is. And there's my number of orders, my visits. As you can see, my price point is average sales over $100 per sale. So I do sell on the higher end for what it's worth. So, I've heard some people say, oh, don't sell items over $50. I've heard some people say that. I think that's just not true. I'm actually proof of it. But let's jump right into it. So as you can see, I stayed pretty steady at the beginning of the year of 2024. And it's right here I started getting this big jump where it jumped up about 50%. And then if you're talking about April to June, it jumped up about 2.5 times. Really a big jump. 2,000 visits to 5,100. And we're just going to use this 1.5% conversion rate. So in those 2 months, I basically got 2.5 as many sales. And then it started dipping a little bit. And I got very discouraged last August. I will be honest with you. I was at the point where I was like, man, I don't know if this is going to make it. I'm not growing. I've actually dipped the past 2 months a little bit. I was like, I just want to get the holiday season, see where it grows. And boom, it started growing, and big up. And I will say this year, if I take what I'm going to do this January and February in 2025 compared to here, I'm going to do over 2x as many sales. So I'm on pace right now to do over 2x in January, February. So I'm actually so this could be, I'm hoping to hit 200K on this year. But I do want to so I'm gonna do all time and just show you this too, where I started. So I started in April, but I will say late July in 2023. So this is the previous year right here. I actually switched the product. Now, stay in the same genre. So think about this. If you're in the clothing genre and you were doing adult sweatshirts and then you switch to kids clothing or onesies or something like that. That's kind of what I did. I stayed in the same genre, but just switched the product type. That's what I did in July. So my new product started coming in July 2023. So I only had a few months of doing these new products before I hit this thing. And as you can see, I only sold about 20K from April through December. So I didn't so those 8 months I sold about 20K. But I'm going to go back to this last year. That's what we're talking about this last year. So I'm going to go down and just show you these stats. That's kind of what I'm doing. And I'm going to throw a couple of little tips at the end to kind of help you. So my reviews is at 209. I'm hitting over 25%. This is probably, if I did the math, 27, 28% reviews. Reviews are massive. If you can get reviews of pictures, that's massive. Do not be afraid to ask your customers after they receive the item. Do not send in a message, follow up, and say, hey, I want to make sure everything was great with your product. It arrived non-damaged. However you want to do it, and give reviews. Now, review-wise, you're going to get some bad reviews here and there. I got a 4.9. As you can see, you've had a 4.9 star average. So I got a 4.9 right now. You're going to have a couple bad reviews that has nothing to do with you. I had a product get lost once, and then it took literally 2 months to get there. It got lost on the second time, and then it got found. And I got a 2-star review. Nothing you can do about it. Okay? No, there's sometimes you're just going to have people that are going to get upset over any little thing, and it's not out of your control. It could be totally their fault. You could put on there, it's a metal item all over, and they get it in, and they think it's wood. They thought it was going to be wood and write your bad review. Even though it shows metal and you say it's metal, you're going to get some strange things. So you'll have a couple bad reviews here and there. Nothing you can do about it. So do not stress about it. Shop follows only got 83. I wish that was better. Item favorites over 3,000. Repeat buyers is a big deal. 23 repeat buyers. I want to continue to grow that. Repeat buyers are awesome because repeat buyers are also going to be a lot of your word of mouth. People that come back and buy things, they're going to do it. Also, cities reached. I do sell in 4 countries. The U.S. is number 1, but I sell like in Canada, UK, and Australia. But I'm going to be blunt about it. 98% of my sales are U.S. I get like 2 sales a month in these other places, total, between all the other 3 countries. So I would not, worry about if you just do U.S. not go. If you see this 4 countries, no. It's pretty much all my stuff's coming U.S. Abandoned carts. I do the little thing. If they put it in the cart, I do send them a little code to try to get them to close the deal. And also it kind of reminds them, hey, you left this item in the cart. So I do recommend doing that with abandoned carts. So let's do how they found us. As you can see, the Etsy app and other pages, 22K. That's by far my number 1. You see Etsy search. You can kind of glance over these yourself. Social media, I do want to talk about for a second. I do Pinterest. Okay. Now I just do the Pinterest kind of add-on at the top right here. We basically just click and it'll save it in Pinterest. I don't go and do nothing crazy with it. It's not time consuming. Basically any new listing I make, I just do it. That's basically what I do. I just add it on Pinterest, and that's kind of the way I do it. Obviously I probably have gotten some sales out of 639. Facebook, I don't even have a Facebook page. I know a lot of people get a lot of business from it. So that may be something you want to look into. If you'd rather do Facebook than Pinterest, whatever you want to do. Instagram, I have an Instagram page. I am terrible on Instagram, so I do not have much of a following, but I do post. And again, I've only got 22 people. Click a link from there. I probably literally have only got 50 followers on Instagram, and maybe 55. It's very small. Twitter, I don't use Twitter. I don't use Tumblr. Etsy ads, I do run Etsy ads. I do think that's I think that's a big deal getting started. A big deal. And I'm going to talk about that, the tips thing, in a second. Some of the tips. So let's go back up. So yeah, I want to mention just a few little kind of tips. And we're going to start off kind of the Etsy ads thing. So I want to go over 5 little quick things I think can help your store. Number 1, when you're starting your store, I think you should go sales over profit. I would not worry about your profit at the beginning. You got to understand that if you break even, it's good. It is about getting sales and reviews over everything else. Nothing else matters except for sales and reviews at the beginning. Nothing. So if you got to run Etsy ads and break even on Etsy ads, it's worth it. Do not break even in the beginning to get reviews and get sales. You need to get over that 100 sale mark at least, because people are skeptical when you got 5 sales and 0 reviews. Also on reviews, if you have a problem, like I said, you may want to ask for reviews. Don't be afraid to ask. If you have a problem customer that's just causing issues in messages, I probably wouldn't ask for a review from that person, because they're demanding and they may just give you a 1-star review. But the reviews and sales matter over profit at the beginning, no matter what. That's also why, even if there's issues with shipping, I just had a perfect example. I just had thing get shipped. It got lost. This was this past week. It got lost, and it's been like 3 weeks. I had to send out another one after about a week of being lost. And he messaged me on Wednesday, and it was still stuck and not updating on the tracking. And then it updated, and he messaged me on Wednesday morning and said, hello, I'm canceling Friday, asking for a refund. It was a pretty good profit. It was going to cost me a lot of money. That next morning, Thursday, he said, updated, it's being delivered. And guess what happened? The lost one that got lost before, that was shipped 3 weeks before, showed up. So he ended up with 2 of the same item. And these were actually personalized items. I do sell personalized and non-personalization. And since it was personalized, I was like, just keep it. You got to back up if one of them gets damaged. And but the thing is, he was messaging me all the time. He wasn't happy, wasn't happy. I replied every single time within 3-4 hours. Didn't wait 24 hours. I kept him up to date, contacted the shipping company and said, hey, this is what they told me. And he comes back and wrote me a raving positive review after being upset. Taking over 3 weeks for his product to get there from when the first one got shipped. So make sure you just give great customer service. You never know when you get the 5-star review. Let's go to the next one. And this is kind of generic, but this matters with Etsy. Consistency. Be consistent. You're going to have your ups and downs. You have to be consistent with this, with your posting listings. Get them up, get them up, get them up. Set up a schedule beginning of the week and say, okay, this is my goals. If I want to get 10 listings or 5 listings, whatever you have time for, spread it out, put it away at time, and you do it, period. You need consistent moving forward in your shop. I think people get frustrated and they just quit for 3 weeks and then come back. I've heard people say that. It's like, you're never going to make it with this. It's no different if you're learning like the guitar or workout exercise routine. You have to be consistent to get results. That's everything in life. So it's the same way with this. Also, this is kind of piggy bank off this. You got to treat it like a job. This whole quick fix, get rich scheme stuff with people think you can do with print on demand or whatever it is you're doing with your store. It's not that way. You have to treat it like a job. You can treat it like a part-time job. But like I was talking about with the consistency, probably Sunday you need to sit down and say, okay, these are my goals for my shop this week. This is what I have to get done through the next weekend, through the next 7 days, and no matter what. So I hate to say it, people, but if you're doing 10 listings and you're coming in on Friday, and you've only gotten 3 listings, guess what? Your weekend's done until you get it done. No going out to dinner with your friends on Friday night. No hanging out. If you want to make it on Etsy, you got to sacrifice other parts of your life. And then once you reach your goals for that week of what you think you need to reach for your store, then enjoy life. And I know you hate to say it, but this is a business and you got to treat it like a business. This is not some little fun thing you can do on the side and hopefully it makes it, hopefully not. If you treat it like that, you have 1% chance. Might as well buy a lottery ticket and play lottery. You're not going to make it. You got to be consistent and you got to treat it like a business, like a job, like you do your career. And say, okay, these are the goals for this week. I got to reach this. Once I reach these, then I can enjoy life or whatever. It sucks, but if you're going to make it on Etsy, on e-commerce, you got to treat it like a job. Next thing, I want to talk about barrier to entry. And a lot of people will go into this and they will just go into coffee mugs, t-shirts, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's people that make it, but they're looking for a quick, easy barrier to entry that you can jump right in. I recommend going into something that's harder barrier to entry, whether it requires a skill set to sell on there. Because there's going to be less competition. And if there's less competition, you have less listings to compete with. And when you get these things like t-shirt and coffee mugs, and again, you can go that route, but you're going to have so many people coming in and out of that's going to there's going to be so many listings you got to compete with. I would much rather have a harder barrier to entry and go that route. I think it's just a better way to go. That's a personal opinion. People may disagree with me, but if you can find a harder barrier to entry product to sell and then do that and be consistent, I think you have a better chance of making it. Last but not least, do your keyword research. I have a little experience with SEO in the past. I've had some service businesses that were not e-commerce, but I had websites, so I had the SEO. So I played on with the SEO all the way back to when Yahoo was the biggest search engine. So I was doing it in my early 20s. So do your keyword research. So you're going to find keywords you would have never thought of. I would just make a big list. You're probably, for your product, if you're selling, let's say coffee mugs, you're probably going to find 30 keywords or something. You could probably use 20, 25 keywords and you just kind of interchange them, use them for different products, and then of course you're going to add in things like nurse, doctors. Um, you may add in green, blue, whatever it may be, large, small, those keywords as well. If it's coffee mug 12 ounce, 10 ounce, 8 ounce, you're just going to mix and match. But go through and just spend a little time and make a list of those keywords before you start making your listings. And then you have that list, and then your keywords are going to be um pretty pretty easy and fast to do. I'm going to give one last little tip I wasn't going to talk about. I thought about this. Do not be afraid to go outside and do something, try something unique, a unique product design. I have a couple top sellers. My top one of my top selling Christmas items was something I thought of out of the blue, and I basically have a monopoly on that product online. Nobody else sells that product. Anything that looks like it at all, at all. So think if you have you're doing blankets and it's a complete, and nobody sells a seashell blanket. They may sell blankets, but not a seashell blanket. You're the only one that's got a seashell. I basically have that with one of my Christmas products because I thought of it as like, oh, this would be kind of cool to do. And I just went with my gut and made it. And it took off. So don't be scared to go outside. A lot of people say, oh, look at the products and kind of just do a copy of it, do a derivative of bestsellers. And that's a great way to go. Don't be scared. If you got a cool design you think may work, go outside the box. Because if nobody else is selling and you can get on there and sell it, you basically have a monopoly of that product on Etsy. So don't be scared to go outside the box. But guys and girls, that is it for this. I do want to start making more videos. I do have some older videos showing my first month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. And then I didn't make a video for a while because I really wanted to focus on this. I want to get my sales up because I don't want to come on and act like an expert when I'm not an expert. Back then. So I've really started, I've sold, over 100K now in less than 2 years. So I feel like I really have a lot more knowledge on getting on here and selling products. And I do want to start making more videos, some tips, etc. So if you like this, guys, please hit subscribe. But I definitely want to get really start doing more videos since I definitely have a lot more experience and more knowledge of how this works. And hopefully this year I hit over 200K in sales, which is not out of the question. But that's it. Please hit like and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you.